These are this afternoon's top stories. Nationals receive training in hospital information system. The controversy continues in the aftermath of Guyana elections, and the 3 generals involved in the failed Burundi coup attempt are arrested. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Midday newscast for today, Friday, May 15th, 2015. I am JD Keynes. Nationally, the more than 3-decade-long relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis and the government of the Republic of China and Taiwan continues to bear fruit, as this week several residents were trained in hospital information system. During a ceremony to officially close the training exercise, resident Taiwanese ambassador George Gaowei Chow said his government values the relationship with St. Kitts and Nevis. He added that St. Kitts and Nevis is the first Caribbean country to collaborate with Taiwan in the field of information and communication technology.
Nowadays, with more than 40% of website developments in manufacturing industry, St. Kitts and Nevis has advanced to the top in the information technology field within the Eastern Caribbean region. For example, with introducing the hospital information system to the Joseph France General Hospital, St. Kitts and Nevis has become the first to deploy information technology to hospitals in Caribbean regions and assure its leading position in HIS field.
R&B artist Trey Songz will perform at the 19th annual St. Kitts Music Festival, which is scheduled for June 25th to 27th, 2015. The multi-platinum artist will join Bounty Killer, Christopher Martin, Oswald, Roy Cape, T-Vice, Tono Rosario, Ricardo Drew, Kerwin Dubois, Patrice Roberts, Blacks, and Benjai, who will all be performing on the event. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Lindsey Grant, made the announcement today, adding that he is thrilled to welcome Trey Songz to St. Kitts for the first time. Trey Songz, whose birth name is Tremaine Alden Neverson, is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. He is best known for hits Bottoms Up, I Need a Girl, Open the Closet, Girl Tonight, Can't Help But Wait, and Last Time. Last evening, a vehicular accident took place in the Old Road Bay area as a bus with plate number PA8085 ran off the road, plunging into the sea. The wreckage of the badly damaged bus marked destiny attracted onlookers as it could be seen immersed in the water below. It is unclear at this time if any injuries were sustained. We move now to news on the regional scene. Celebrations have begun in Guyana over the preliminary results of the polls, but the controversy has not ended yet. The Guyana Elections Commission is gearing up to investigate how fake statements of polls may have been inserted into those sent to its headquarters.
The Guyana Elections Commission is set to investigate how someone attempted to slip fake statements of poll into its tallying process. The Commission detected the false documents and had them removed. Only the original documents were used to tabulate the results. The Chief Election Officer, Keith Lowenfield, said that the GCOM documents had peculiar and specific security features that would clearly identify they were original documents.
As far as the statements go, those security features, and there are security features on those statements. We're aware, myself and probably the senior team and just one guy in the IT, I think, knew clearly what those features were. Those security features that one could, at sight, recognize that this is not our production, this is not our document. So I could have discerned that pretty easily.
Capital News understands that an international investigation may be launched into a private printing company operated by Guyanese in Canada with links to a former GCOM employee. These individuals are suspected to have orchestrated the scheme to derail the outcome of the elections. The original GCOM documents with security features were printed in Canada. GCOM chairman Dr. Steve Sujbali described as evil those who attempted to execute the inclusion of the fake documents.
But what is the greater issue, I would have thought, is that there is such evil in our society that would make a person do something like that, knowing the repercussive effects on this nation, what could happen. The distrust is aroused once again. That I said the word evil because I meant it. It is a terrible, most reprehensible thing to attempt. And of course it goes nowhere, but it goes their way by those who want to make an issue out of something that was captured and stopped immediately.
It was the chief election officer who brought to the attention of both the PPP and APNU-AFC commissioners the attempt to insert the fake documents. The chief election officer said that the attempt did not materially affect the result, as the authentic GCOM documents were used. The parties contesting the elections have not questioned the numbers submitted to GCOM and signed off by their polling agents. For Capital News, Enrico Wilfred reporting.
A 4.7 magnitude earthquake shook St. Lucia on Thursday morning. The Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies has confirmed the tremor occurred 64 kilometers east of Castries. Emergency officials say the event should serve as a reminder of the importance of earthquake preparedness and knowing the right procedures to adopt during and after a quake.
It was around 10:16 a.m. Thursday that St. Lucia was rattled by a magnitude 4.7 earthquake. Acting Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, Velda Joseph, says the morning tremor is the latest event in what experts say is a marked elevation in seismic activity in the Caribbean.
It occurred at a depth of about 21 kilometers and approximately 64.0 kilometers east of Castries. According to preliminary reports from the Seismic Research Unit, the magnitude of that earthquake was 4.7. So far, we have received reports from Vieux-Fort, from Gros-Islet, from the Canaries area, from Micoud area, so it appears that it was felt island-wide.
The NEMO official says no damage was reported. She is, however, appealing to members of the public to ensure they know what should be done during and after an earthquake, as that knowledge could help minimize losses.
If you are inside, you remain inside, and again you drop cover hold. You may also want to stand in the doorway, but you don't stand loosely. You brace yourself in that doorway to weather the tremor. If you are outside, you remain outside, of course, in an open area where you cannot see the possibility of trees or electricity poles falling on you. And you also adopt that brace position. So you go down flat and you also cover, and you cover the back of your neck and your face, so that if anything were to, God forbid, find its way to you, that you would not be seriously injured. If you're driving, you may want to pull on a side if it's safe to do so. And again, you stay away from falling poles and electricity lines.
If you do not have an emergency plan for your home or workplace, Joseph says now is the time to formulate one.
We need to ensure that we're in a state of preparedness. Again, we always say from the NEMO Secretariat that we're approaching the hurricane season, and hurricane is on everybody's mind, but that is not the only hazard that we are prone to. We have been told by the Water Resources Management Unit that we are on the verge of a hydrological drought, and now we see that we have very frequent earth tremors. So we need to ensure that we are always cognizant that St. Lucia is prone to a number of hazards, and we need to be in a state of readiness.
The Seismic Research Center says Thursday's first official findings are preliminary and may vary slightly when additional data is processed. Alison Kentish, HTS News Force.
Internationally, there have been celebrations in Burundi following the arrest of 3 generals. The group is accused of leading a failed attempt to overthrow President Pierre Nkurunziza.
Celebrations in Burundi as authorities announced the arrest of 3 generals following a failed attempt to overthrow President Pierre Nkurunziza. The president of the Central African country had earlier said he would pardon the ringleaders if they surrendered. Godefroid Niyombare, former intelligence chief and the general driving the revolt, has surrendered but remains at large. In this tweet, President Nkurunziza thanks the police, army and Burundian people for their help in dealing with the situation. 20 people died in weeks of protests and clashes after Nkurunziza declared he would run for a third term in office, despite the constitution stating a two-term maximum leadership period. Burundi's army chief of staff announced the putsch had failed, saying 12 people were killed in the process while 40 surrendered and 9 were arrested. The president was in neighbouring Tanzania when the coup attempt took place. Upon his return, he said the situation was under control and constitutional order has been protected. Relative calm now appears to have returned to the capital, despite some calls for fresh demonstrations.
Blues legend B.B. King has died at age 89.
Tributes are pouring in for the blues legend B.B. King. The 89-year-old who inspired generations of musicians has died at his home in Las Vegas. Born Riley Ben King, he was nicknamed King of the Blues and had a career that spanned almost 70 years. He was a 15-time Grammy winner and recorded more than 50 albums. King was credited with taking his music to the mainstream, and his unique guitar playing was imitated around the world. He played and toured with a Gibson guitar that he nicknamed Lucille. His hits included The Thrill Is Gone, Let the Good Times Roll, When Love Comes to Town, 3 O'Clock Blues and Sweet 16. But of course there were many, many more.
Hey, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, baby. I've got good music on my radio.
I think the people, God and the people have been good to me through the years, the age I am now. I like to do what I'm doing and would do it for nothing if somebody would pay my bills, but they're paying me for something I like to do anyway, which I love.
Your love I'll cherish to my grave. And if you should die before I do, I'll end my life to be with you.
And now we take our attention to the weather. Today will be partly sunny to locally cloudy with a slight chance of brief coastal showers, mainly this afternoon. Tonight, conditions will be fair to partly cloudy with a slight chance of a passing shower. Winds will blow from the east to east-southeast at 7 to 15 miles per hour, with lighter spells in some places overnight. Seas are moderate with swells of 1.5 meters or 5 feet. The weather brings us to the end of ZIZ's Midday Newscast for today, Friday. Join us this evening for the details to these stories and more in our major news presentation. I have been your presenter, JD Gaines. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful afternoon.